Hello, my dear audiences. Welcome to the show, East-West Show on 44.9, channel 44.9 public channel. So you'll come welcome to the, one more time. Yeah. Action. Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show, East-West Show. Jack Zhao is hosting with GNE TV, 44.9 is our channel. Now, today, joining me are two wonderful individuals, my good friends. Both of them are Mr. Chris Nibby, a director, a producer of Hollywood. Chris, welcome to the show.
谢谢你, thank you very much, 老朋友.
All right, 老朋友, really old friend. And we have Mark Liu. He is the founder and CEO of an organization called American Council of Nanking Massacre Commemoration. So welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you for having me here.
Sure. By the background of these two guests, you probably can guess the subject for today. Today, we're bringing you a documentary that's been created by Mr. Chris Nibby that tells a huge story during World War II when the Chinese people and American people became friends, when the two nations became allies during the war of World War II, to be precise, anti-Japanese war, right? So I would say that I should start with an introduction of the film documentary called The Burma Road / Flying Tiger, or Dash Flying Tiger, right?
Dash or whatever.
Dash or / Burma Road / Flying Tiger, created by Chris Nibby. And the Mark and I, previous show, we did talk about it, but today he is still invited to come here, join the party, to talk to the real McCoy about the real thing, right? So, yes, for the film, I have a few lines that I would like to read. That the historical event of the Burma Road and the Flying Tiger. That's a fascinating story of how the United States and China became brother in arms, not in laws. Brothers in arms against the Imperial Japan during World War II. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah, sure. And I would like to give this opportunity to you to introduce yourself to our audience. It's also your mind at the creation of the Burma Road / Flying Tiger, please.
I'm the creator of the Mysterious China series, which is a series of now 16 documentaries which explain the culture and historical.
And by the way, I
events.
have a little insertion to make. These are internationally acclaimed and also award-winning series. Please use that,
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I'm the...
Yeah, say it again,
Okay.
say it again.
My name is Chris Nibby, and I'm the creator of the internationally acclaimed and award-winning Mysterious China series, which now has 16 documentaries with many more in preparation.
All right, good.
With Burma Road and Flying Tigers, I, as in other previous films like Dayo Islands, The Truth, Tibet, The Truth, and Unit 731, I try to explain to the Western world what China's position was during World War II and how much China suffered and how much the common people of China contributed to World War II because of Cold War behavior from the West, of which actually China had no part, but because China was associated with Russia, it automatically got thrown into the same basket and suffered Cold War exclusion from world affairs. And I'm trying to correct this misinformation once and for all, because China, what unfortunately most of the time is overlooked or even forgotten, was an allied nation in World War II in their fight against Imperial Japan.
Yeah, all right. Quite a statement. I like it, and I see the necessity. And to my friend Mark, You and I spent quite a few times here talking about World War II,
Yes.
and that we did in a series of the commemoration of the celebration of the 70th anniversary of people, mankind winning World War II,
Yes.
right? Okay, now,
We did that.
and he mentioned just now in his own statement that he felt it was necessary to bring to the Western world the understanding about the Chinese people, about their contribution to the ending of World War II, and about the relationship between the United States and China, which started right there. So how do you see that as a necessity? Please?
Well, the first thing I would say is I do admire Chris because you helped us a lot. From your perspective, it's more like third party, and you find so many things that the Western world didn't recognize yet. How the role of China, how the people of China that fight against the Nazis and those sort of fascists and winning and the ending the World War II and the contribution. So today I really hope listen more from Chris's
Do you
perspective.
think there is a lack of understanding on the Western side of the globe?
It surely is. Even year 2013, when I invited a friend of mine, Bob Godleski, he's a professor of Cal State Fullerton. When we showed about what happened in Nanjing and how John Rabbit saved about the 250,000 Nanjing inhabitants,
Yeah.
he later on sent me an email that he said he never knew this. He never knew it. Even as a professor, as a learned scholar, he knows nothing about what was happening
I see.
in China during World War II. So
Yeah.
Chris is doing something so important for us, for Chinese, and for our government.
Yeah,
to let the
taking-
Western
yeah,
world to
yeah,
know what
exactly.
was going on
Sure,
over there
sure.
during World War II.
Taking that into consideration, we see the necessity of bringing it back to daylight,
Yes.
broad daylight for people to see, especially with the Western world, let alone the fact that our young people, our young generation, they totally do not know anything about it.
They neglected.
They even including my colleagues who belong to the next generation, they need that too. So it is kind of like it's a big contribution to mankind. For them, you offered an opportunity to master, to remember history. Am I right? Okay. You mentioned about Cold War. And the Cold War prevention of people knowing that part. How big a contribution, a negative contribution, the Cold War has done so far to the lack of the understanding that I mentioned to the Western side of the world, please?
As far as I'm concerned, China was actually an innocent victim of the Cold War because it really didn't do anything. But right after America had dropped the Hiroshima bombs on Japan, and they started to twist around and created Japan as a proxy against China, just because China was associated with Russia in a common ideology.
All right.
Whereby the West also doesn't realize that China later on was also victimized by Russia. I mean, if you look at it, in the last 200 years, the imperial nations, including Russia, have all victimized China. And China had many problems and wasn't able really to defend themselves, and they were looking for a new way, and that's when Mao came and gave them a new direction.
I see.
So the Cold War, right after the surrender of Japan, basically a few months later, the Cold War started, and the contributions and enormous sacrifices of the common people of China have never been brought to the attention of the world. It was just totally isolated, and today, 70 years later, you're trying to do this, which is probably which is really necessary because nobody knows about it. And
Yeah.
as he said, he spoke to the professor, and the professor said, "I never knew."
Yeah,
heard
he
about
didn't
it."
even
So
know,
if
right?
the professor a professor of history doesn't know anything,
How about everybody
then
else?
what do you expect about everybody else?
Yeah,
to know?
sure, exactly. Very, very good. And another word, Mark, by listening to him, my way of understanding is that he just let the politicians keep on going, playing their games, playing their own chess. His part, he make it his job to bring whatever happened in history to the public eye.
Yeah, the truth of the history.
Let the story talk, right?
And it's not fantasy. It's not my fantasy or my creation.
Yeah.
I just collect the historic evidence, and it's very clear when you see the film what was right or what was wrong.
That's why you call it documentary.
Yeah.
Good documentary, right? And also to Mark, I believe Mark, for the past 5 years, have been spent lots of your energy in putting together the wakening up calls to people, and lots of efforts, such as with the museum in China, such as the efforts of trying to put up a possible monument in commemoration of Nanking Massacre, even in Los Angeles, right? So together, you guys kind of like coincidentally got together. The two efforts from two directions, towards one subject. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think there is going to be quite a lot of things that I can do together with Chris and with your help.
Exactly. Because here, thank you for mentioning that. Here at the GNE TV, we say the same thing. Like I said just now, I said let politicians keep on playing their games, whatever like they want to do. We, as a public media, our job is to promote whoever doing their own parts to bring back the understanding of our young people to the part that happened in history, because we have a famous quotation from Mark: learning from history is for the purpose of how you handle your future, right? So today, my dear audience, this is a chance to once again talk about World War II. It's one of the shows in the commemoration of the of World War II and the celebration of winning World War II, which is the 70th anniversary this year. Joining me, my good friend, Chris Nibby, a wonderful, I would say. He himself is a living monument, aren't you? Don't hate me if I call you a monument. I say living monument. Okay.
I turn to stone.
Well,
Right
Here's
now.
here's a living, a walking monument, a talking monument.
Yeah.
He himself, and he is the creator and producer, director, and everything of the wonderful, internationally acclaimed and award-winning series called Mysterious China, 16 episodes, right? One of the episodes is today's subject, the Burma Road / Flying Tiger, which will bring you about how China and the United States, people, government, whoever, got together, putting their hands together to establish this brothers in arms relationship as allies during the time of the Japanese invasion to China. And I'm also Mark Liu, founder and CEO of American Council of Nanking Massacre Commemoration. So let's take a short moment out. When we come back, let's start by following your chart. So for the first time, and I'm so glad that the GNE get the chance, it's almost a premiere.
Yes, it is.
Call it a premiere or semi-premiere. So stay with us, we'll be right back.